A world without animals is a world I want no part of. Maybe that's the selfish reason that I pursue the idea that somehow I hope I can help save them, create a future for them. A painting captures how you felt about something. You stand in front of it and you feel. And that's the purpose of art. Art is designed to make you feel. We can step into that world in an Anthropocene moment, into that Pleistocene world and look at it, experience it, feel it, and hopefully be inspired to save it. The title of the painting, I think, says it all. It's called The Wolf Moon. Wolf Moon is the first full moon in January. Very cold night. We have bison that are being pursued by a pack of wolves and coming down and crossing a drift, making themselves very vulnerable as the wolves flank around. And the tails are up, the fear in the bison's eyes. This painting is a depiction of the predator-prey relationship that occurred throughout history. The bison made the wolves what they are, and wolves made bison what they are. They were part of that evolutionary story.
Well, wolves are what's called a keystone species. That means they occur at low density but have big impacts. And they also occur at the top of the food chain. Wolves really have changed certain aspects of the ecology of Yellowstone. We've restored a semblance of that original trophic structure, and we're watching the ecosystem in many ways heal.
The neat thing about bison, what they do is they don't loiter in areas. They're always traveling. They might travel 20 to 30 miles a day. They're a sharp-hooved animal, so when they step on the ground, it actually slices the ground a little bit, which helps moisture penetrate, as well as seeds as well.
I go into the wild and submerge myself into that subject matter. Great paintings come from great research.
He first studies the animal, he studies the environment, and then conveys in his painting a feeling.
He goes to great lengths to study what he is painting. This last trip out here, he was trying to gauge how far the breath on a cold day the bison was, the mist was coming out of their nostrils. I never would have thought of something like that.
Those subtleties don't come easy. They don't come from a book. They don't come from a couple trips to a region. They come from a deep immersion in the subject. I want that canvas to look as if it's poised between heartbeats. So I take all of that research and let it inspire and lead the way to produce a working concept sketch. Nature's so big that to see it, you've got to turn your head. A large canvas is the same thing. To see it, you have to turn your head from one side to the other. That's big, that's nature. Nature's big. I love painting big. I paint on a stretched Belgian linen, which is the finest fabric you can find. And I put it on a very thick stretcher bar system. And from there, I hand stretch that raw linen canvas and begin to place my staples about 2 inches apart all the way around it. I'll put 5 or 6 coats of gesso on it, and I place my coats on a random brush format so that I start to create this mottled look, which will then help make that painting be consistently inconsistent. So once the canvas is all prepped and ready to go, I'll take that concept sketch and use it as my frame of reference, my map. It's at that point where I have to then make a commitment that I'm locking in this. I can't change any compositional arrangements. I can't change any forms. I'm ready now to begin the journey of breathing it into life. Alla prima, one sitting from your idea to the manifestation on the canvas of that idea, to the transfer to the viewer of that idea. Unencumbered, one moment, boom. Once you take that deep breath and leap, it's full on until that painting is finished. Painting in moonlight, remember that all of your values are condensed. So that begins to test your ability to slice a color in a very condensed prism of color and light. And the only way you can get to that is to have a perfect harmony between the value, color, and hue. It's never perfection, but it's as close to it as you can possibly get. I go to bed with it. I play with my kids with it. That painting consumes me. It wraps itself around me in these tentacles of obsession. When I'm really getting ready for an exhibition, it's not uncommon to be in the studio for 14 to 16 hours. The gravity of it is what makes me humbled, it makes me intimidated, it makes me inspired, it makes me feel all of these incredible emotions. As a nature artist, conservation is a driving force for my work, and it's a motivation. I hope that this painting captures the moment that we can say we had a recovery of wolves, we had a recovery of bison, and here we are, we can celebrate it. Hopefully we can sustain it, and the future generations feel that there's enough value in the presence of these species that they'll allocate the space and the resources to make that opportunity so.
These things with big teeth are remnants of what the world used to be like. So we have to make a conscious decision now, because if we don't check ourselves, we're going to want everything. We need to ask ourselves the question, are we going to allow them to exist? Are there going to be remnants of what was here before us survive? Does wildness mean anything to us?
The painting itself has an artistic value, but its long-term value is inspiring action. You know you've hit it when, after seeing your work, people feel compelled to make a difference in conservation.